Hey ladies, welcome back to my channel. So today's video is something I get asked about constantly, and I mean constantly. We are talking about the 7 haircuts that are going to take 10 years off of your face instantly. And I'm talking about women over 50, 60, 70s, 80s, because the right haircut changes everything. Are you ready? Let's get this beauty started. So I just got back from the salon yesterday, and I have to tell you, there is nothing like that feeling when you walk out and you're like, okay, I see myself again. Because I think a lot of us, we wait too long between cuts. And then you look in the mirror and you're like, something is off. Something is dragging me down, and you can't even put your finger on it. And then you get your hair done and you're like, oh, there I am. So that is exactly what we're talking about today. I've been wanting to do this video for so long because I feel like nobody really talks about this for mature women specifically, like what actually works for our face as we age and what is just going to make things worse. So let's get into it. So let's start with the first one, and this is one that I think so many women are sleeping on. It's the bob. Now, before you roll your eyes and say, Nicole, everyone talks about the bob. I know, I know. But hear me out, because I'm not talking about just any bob. I'm talking about a specific length, a specific shape, and a specific way of wearing it that is going to do something really beautiful for a mature face. The key with the bob for women in their 50s, 60s, and 70s is that it needs to sit just at the jaw or just below it, not shorter, because when you go too short up here, it can actually expose the neck in a way that draws attention to areas that maybe you don't want to highlight. And I'm not saying that to make you feel bad. I'm saying it because I want you to walk out of that salon and feel incredible. So jaw length or just below is your sweet spot. Now, number 2 is the lob, the long bob. And ladies, this is the haircut that I feel like is the most universally flattering for mature women, and I mean that. It works on oval faces, round faces, square faces. It just works. It's sitting right at the collarbone or just above it, and what it does is it gives the illusion of length to the face. It elongates everything, and when you add a little movement to it, a little wave, a little bend at the ends, I mean, you look like $1,000,000. I genuinely believe this. Number 3, and this one surprises people, is the textured pixie. Now I know, some of you are like, Nicole, I could never cut my hair that short. And I hear you, but if you have fine, thin hair that is just not doing what it used to do, and you're fighting it every single morning trying to give it volume and life, and it's just not cooperating, a textured pixie might be the answer you've been looking for. The texture is everything here, though. You don't want it to be flat and slicked down. You want it to have that piecey, lived-in kind of feel. That's what makes it look modern and fierce and not dated. Number 4 is the layered mid-length. And this is really for the ladies who want to keep some length, but feel like their hair is just sitting there doing nothing. Layers change everything. They give movement, they give volume, they give your hair a reason to live again. And specifically for mature women, I always say go for face-framing layers. Layers that start right around here, around the cheekbones, because they are going to soften the face. They are going to give you that really pretty, almost effortless kind of look. Like you didn't even try. But you did, and that's the whole point. Number 5, the shag. Now, the shag is having a huge moment right now, and I have to tell you, it is not just for the younger crowd. Not at all. A modern shag with curtain bangs, and I know bangs are a whole conversation, but soft, wispy curtain bangs, that part in the middle and kind of sweep to the sides, on a mature woman with beautiful silver or gray hair. I mean, it is stunning. It is absolutely stunning. The shag gives you volume at the crown, movement through the mid-lengths, and that effortless texture that makes your hair look full and healthy. Number 6 is the classic French bob, and this one is a little more daring, I'll be honest. It sits right at the chin, sometimes even a little above, and it's very blunt, very structured. And I think what makes it so chic, especially on silver-haired women, is that the contrast between that clean geometric shape and the softness of gray or white hair is just really, really striking. It photographs beautifully too. If you are someone who loves a strong, confident, put together look, this is your haircut. And number 7, and this is my personal favorite, I have to say, is the textured, layered bob with a side part. It's almost like the best of everything. You've got the length of a bob, you've got the movement of layers, and then that side part just lifts the whole face. It gives you volume on one side, it sweeps the hair in a direction that is so flattering, and it takes years off. And I'm not just saying that. I genuinely see it on women all the time, and it is consistently the most transformative change. A simple shift in the part can do as much as a full haircut sometimes. I truly believe that. Okay, so now that we've gone through all 7, I want to talk about something that I think is just as important as the haircut itself, and that is how to actually communicate what you want when you sit down in that chair. Because I think so many of us, and I've been guilty of this too, when we go in, we sit down, and we say something like, just a trim, or just clean it up a little, and then we walk out looking exactly the same as when we walked in, and we wonder why nothing changed. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to go in with a picture. I know that sounds so simple, but it makes such a massive difference. Find a photo of the cut you love. It doesn't have to be someone your exact age. It doesn't have to be your exact hair texture. Just find something that shows the shape, the length, the feel of what you're going for. And when you show it to your stylist, say specifically, I want this shape, I want this length. Be precise, because a little shorter means something completely different to every single stylist on the planet. Now, here is the mistake I see constantly, and I really want you to hear this. Mature women, especially women with fine or thinning hair, will sometimes ask their stylist to take off a lot of length all at once because they want to change. And I completely understand that impulse. I really do. But if you have fine hair and you take too much length off at once without the right amount of layering and texture built in, you can end up with something that sits flat and lifeless. And that is the opposite of what we're going for. So if you're making a big change, ask your stylist to go in stages. Take off a little, see how it sits, then decide if you want to go shorter. And speaking of stylists, can we talk for a second about finding the right one? Because I think this is something a lot of women don't give enough attention to. You want a stylist who has experience working with mature hair, not just someone who is great at balayage on a 30-year-old. Hair changes as we age. The texture changes, the density changes, the way it holds a style changes. And a stylist who really understands that is going to give you a completely different result than one who doesn't. Don't be afraid to ask before you book. Ask them, do you work with mature women a lot? Do you have experience with gray hair, with fine hair, with thinning hair? The right stylist is not going to be offended by that. They're going to love that you asked. Now, the other thing I want to mention, and this is a big one, is the cut versus the style. Because sometimes women will go to the salon, get a beautiful cut, the stylist blows it out perfectly, and it looks incredible. And then they get home, they wash it themselves, they try to style it, and it just doesn't look the same, and they think something went wrong with the cut. But usually what's happening is it's a styling issue, not a cut issue. So before you leave the salon, ask your stylist to walk you through exactly how they styled it. What products did they use? What brush did they use? Where did they direct the airflow? Because that information is gold. That is what is going to help you recreate it at home. And don't be embarrassed to take notes on your phone right there in the chair. I do it. I absolutely do it. So now let's talk about products, because this is where I feel like a lot of women are just completely overwhelmed. You walk into a salon, you walk into a drugstore, and there are like 47 different things that all claim to give you volume, give you shine, give you hold, give you everything all at once. And you're standing there thinking, okay, which one is actually going to work for my hair? And I get it. I have been there so many times. So here is what I always tell women with mature, fine, or thinning hair. You need 2 things. That's it. A lightweight volumizing mousse and a flexible hold hairspray. That's your foundation. The mousse goes in when your hair is damp. Just a small amount. Work it through from the roots. And then you blow dry. And the roots are where you want to focus your attention. Lift them up, point the dryer upward, and really work that volume in from the base. Because volume at the root is everything. Once that's done, a light mist of hairspray just to hold everything in place, not a ton. You don't want it crunchy, you don't want it stiff, just enough to keep the style where you put it. Now, I also want to mention dry shampoo because this is honestly one of the most underrated tools for mature hair. And I'm not just talking about using it when your hair is dirty. I actually love using it on clean hair at the roots for extra volume and texture. It absorbs any excess oil, it gives the hair something to grip, and it makes your style last so much longer. I've been using my Kerastos dry shampoo for this, and it smells just beautiful. I mean, it really does. I put it in, and my hair just gets this really nice body to it, and I actually feel put together even on the days when I'm not. You know what I mean? And actually, speaking of not feeling put together, I have to tell you something funny that happened to me last week. I went to the drugstore to grab a few things, and I ran into my neighbor, and she looked at my hair and she said, "Oh, did you just get a blowout?" And I said, "No, I just used dry shampoo." And she could not believe it. She was like, "Are you serious?" And I was like, I know, it just does something. It's not magic, but it's close." And I told her to go get herself some and report back to me, which she did, by the way. She texted me 2 days later and said she was a convert. So there you go. Dry shampoo, your new best friend. Okay, one more thing on products and then we'll move on. For women with gray or silver hair especially, I really want you to look into a purple or blue toning shampoo. Because gray and silver hair can sometimes pick up these really unwanted yellow or brassy tones, especially if you're spending time outside in the sun. And a toning shampoo used once or twice a week will keep your gray looking that beautiful, bright, crisp silver that is so stunning. You don't need to use it every time you wash. Just work it in once a week, let it sit for a few minutes, rinse it out. It makes such a difference. And the color of your hair is such a big part of how your whole look comes together, so I really want you to protect it. So ladies, there you have it. 7 haircuts that are genuinely going to take years off of your face and make you feel like yourself again. And I want you to really think about this, because I think so many of us hold on to our hair out of habit. We've had the same cut for 5, 10, sometimes 20 years, and we're not even sure we love it anymore. We're just comfortable with it. And comfort is great, but comfort is not always the same thing as feeling incredible. And you deserve to feel incredible. So I want you to take this video to your next salon appointment, show your stylist, have the conversation, try something new, because the right haircut is not just about your hair. It changes your whole face, your whole energy, the way you carry yourself when you walk out the door. And that matters, at any age, at every age. Let me know in the comments below which one of these 7 haircuts is your favorite, or if you've already tried one of them and loved it. I want to hear from you. Report back to me. And until my next video, I'll see you later.